Mexico president calls for end to U.S. trade embargo of Cuba after protests.
Here's a summary of the article.
Mexico's President Andrés Manuel López Obrador delivers a speech on the third anniversary of his presidential election victory at National Palace in Mexico City, Mexico, July 1, 2021. Mexico City, July 12. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador said on Monday the U.S. economic embargo of Cuba should be ended to help its people, after the biggest anti-government protests in decades broke out on the island fueled by anger over shortages in basic goods. The truth is that if one wanted to help Cuba, the first thing that should be done is to suspend the blockade of Cuba, as the majority of countries in the world are asking, López Obrador told a news conference. No country in the world should be fenced in, blockaded. López Obrador, one of the most prominent leftists in Latin America, expressed his solidarity with the Cuban people and urged countries not to intervene in the communist-run country, nor to exploit the situation for political ends. Urging a peaceful resolution to the protests, López Obrador said Mexico would be ready to send medicines, vaccines and food to Cuba if its government requested it. The protests erupted amid Cuba's worst economic crisis since the fall of former ally the Soviet Union in the 1990s and a surge in coronavirus cases, with people angry over goods shortages, curbs on civil liberties and the handling of the pandemic.
This post received a score of 43,000, with an upvote ratio of 86%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
One issue that most people ignore is how the embargo is being enforced. Presently, the embargo is enforced mainly through 6 statutes. The Trading with the Enemy Act of 1917. To lift the embargo, USA need to repeal or amend these laws, which require the powers of U.S. Congress. Without support from the Congress, there are only few actions which could be done by the President.
Do any of these acts block international trade? If, for example, an EU country or Canada ships some supplies there, will the US do something?
Canada has no beef with Cuba. They're a regular tourist destination for Canadians.
In fact, it's very easy to go there as an American, you just have to stop through Mexico.
Went to Cuba in 1992 during a holiday in Jamaica. There were tour boats daily. Americans have been able to go to Cuba for decades, just not directly from the United States.
Pretty much. I'm Cuban American, so we've only gone to visit family and such, but other people talked apt cruises from Florida and stuff too.
Cruises from the US started under Obama, who was able to lessen the effects of the embargo through executive action. The president can't just lift it, however. And when Trump got elected, he reverted the progress Obama put into place. If memory serves, Trump closed the U.S. embassy that had just opened in Havana too, but I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong.
He did, but it was because of the microwave attack, which seems like it was done by China or Russia. They just used it in Cuba as a testing ground. Man, that sounds like some crazy sci-fi shit. I was reading an issue of She-Hulk from the 70s where she has to take out a microwave tower that's causing a bunch of health issues, and I just figured it was made up Marvel comic book nonsense. I didn't realize microwave weapons were a real thing.
Literally every country in the world has asked for an end of the trade embargo on Cuba except for the US, Israel and some Pacific islands. It is the longest embargo in modern history and a relic of the past. Its first iteration dating to March 14, 1958. More than 60 years now, and just 13 years after WW2 ended. It is so old 90% of the current global population was born after the embargo.
Latest UN General Assembly vote only had 2 opponents actually, the US and Israel.
If US cares about UN ruling, Iraq war wouldn't have happened.
They only care when they want to bully other countries.
The more I read this thread, the more I think America deserved Trump.
I believe that in a fair democratic system a country gets the leaders it deserves. Working for government 2020 showed me the general populace across all major demographics. It's just as ignorant, malicious, self-serving, etc. as our politicians.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.